Hi, it's me again, Nishma Karim from Fit Inspired Mama. I'm here because today I talked to Shazia Kishani. She is a very inspiring woman who talks about her journey of weight loss. If you have or want more information about the gastric sleeve surgery, this is the podcast to listen to today. She went through a journey all the way down to the time where she was very young. And she talks a lot about how she got into doing the surgery, what she went through before and after the surgery, and what she recommends. But do you know the best part about this journey is how she started to love who she is right now. That is the most important reason why I have brought her here today. And I cannot wait for you to listen up to her story. So let's listen to Shazia Kishani. Hi, Shazia.
Hi,
I
Nishma.
I am truly delighted to have you here with me and to share with me your journey. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about everything that we are going to be talking about. This will be huge for everyone that's going to be listening. So thank you from my heart for being here. Shazia, before we start, I would love for you to tell us about your journey, who you are, what you do, um, and how you did start this weight loss journey. Everything. Just start with that.
Sure. Yeah. Firstly, thank you so much for thinking of me and for having me. I think it's so nice to have the ability to share my story with others. Um, so yeah, let's start. A little bit about me. My name is Shazia, like you said. I'm 35 years old. I'm a Vancouver-based event professional. I've been in the wedding and event planning industry for over 10 years. It's my passion. It's something that I love to do. Um, and it's a very high stress industry, as you can imagine. So it didn't really help me in my weight loss journey, but I have struggled with weight since a very young age, since probably like my early teen years, maybe even longer than that, actually. Um, and it's, I tried so many things. I tried diets, I tried nutritionists, I've tried um, all of the fad diets. I've probably tried at least once. I've gone through medical weight management programs. Um, I've done basically everything you could do. And, growing up, being the person that was always overweight, there was a lot of stigma around it. So it's not something that I talked about a lot. And what happened is when I was going through the medical weight management program that I was put on through my doctor, I was basically told after 6 weeks of taking classes and going to doctor's appointments that I wasn't deemed high risk enough.
Mhm.
So through the medical weight management program, you get put on the list for the weight loss surgery, or a gastric surgery, as it's called. And the way they rate you is based on the health issues that you're having. And so because I wasn't technically having any bad health issues, I didn't have diabetes, I didn't have high blood pressure at that point, I was told I was a 1 on the risk scale. And so they rate you 1 through 10. And basically only people that are 5 and above get put on the surgery list to have a covered surgery done wherever you're living. So basically, even though I was trying to take the steps to prevent those things from happening, I was getting barriers at every point. So I got a bit, disheartened by that. And I kind of let go of the weight loss journey. And about 2 years ago, I lost my mom to cancer. And during the course of that process, I realized how important it was for me to be there for my family and for me to be with them. And I knew that I had to put my health first. And it's also a promise that I made to my mom.
Right.
So I decided, okay, what can I do? And basically what I decided was that I needed to do the weight loss surgery because that was the only way that I was going to be able to progress in my health journey and be able to put my health first. And that was when I decided to go through with the gastric bypass. Sorry, not the gastric bypass surgery, the gastric sleeve surgery.
Surgery, yeah.
Yeah. So it was obviously very scary. I started researching it and I read a blog of a girl named Caitlin Hargraves, who is a local makeup artist. She's Jillian Harris's makeup artist. And I actually met her at an event like a week after I read the blog.
Mhm.
And something just kind of clicked in me. And I was like, this is my sign. I have to do this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the whole journey started.
That's amazing. First of all, I want to say sorry about your mom.
Thank you.
I remember that incident and I know that you and your family went through and everything that you guys went through. So I know it must have been very hard for you. Um,
Life changing for sure.
I totally, I can feel it. Right now, I can feel that. Though sometimes it's true, watching someone you love gone can trigger so many things in your heart. So
Mhm.
it could be a gratitude for life or realizing how much our health is so important. And that can create so much change in us. So health is so important. And I love that you said that. So thank you for bringing that out. Um, how did you go getting it done? Like, how did you? So I know you met her, and I know you said, okay, I'm going to do it. It was like so aligned to you. You were ready to go for it. So what steps did you actually take?
So it took a lot of research for sure. And I knew that I was going to have to do the surgery privately, which meant I was going to have to pay for it.
Right.
So, coming to terms with what the costs of that could be, and looking at surgeons. So I researched surgeons and I found um, Dr. Gagne in Montreal, and he is one of the top surgeons in North America. And he actually has developed some of the techniques around the gastric sleeve surgery. So I did that. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead with this. And I booked a consultation over the phone.
Yeah.
And during that consultation, we talked about my health issues, kind of where I was at, and we determined what the best option was for me specifically, and that was the gastric sleeve surgery. So there's two popular gastric surgeries that most people talk about, and one is the gastric bypass, and the other is the gastric sleeve. So for me, the gastric sleeve is what I had done, and that is where they go in and a lot of people think they put a sleeve over your stomach so it restricts you from eating. But actually, what it is they go in and they cut out 85% of your stomach, and what you're left with is a sleeve shape of your stomach.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had the consultation. I decided that's what I was going to do. There was some pre testing that had to be done. I did the pre testing and then I booked my surgery. And then I waited. They had about a 3-week wait, but I decided to book it a couple of months later because it was my really busy time at work. So I waited until it wasn't as busy. And then I flew to Montreal and I was there 2 days prior. There was a screening test that they had to do the day before the surgery, and then it was surgery day. Um, and so I stayed in the hospital that night on surgery day, and then they transfer you to a hotel room, and you have nurse care for, I think it's like about 24 to 48 hours.
That must be a scary. That must have been so scary for you.
It was, I think in the moment, it probably was scary because I've never had surgery before.
Mm,
Um, so I didn't really know what to expect. And what that meant is that my blood pressure got really elevated.
mm.
And so they were monitoring me even more because I was so like, level 10 with the blood pressure and just worried about things because I didn't really know what to expect. And I don't think I ever could have been prepared for what it was for sure. It was crazy.
You have anyone with you while this was all going on?
Yeah, my boyfriend Imran was with me, and thank God he was there because there were like he's been with me throughout the whole process, and my dad, and they just, my sister had just had a baby like 6 months before that, so she couldn't be with me. But they were both there with me, so I had them, and it helped me. But unfortunately, women recover from the surgery a lot harder than men do.
Oh,
Um, so the hardest part is like right after the surgery. So they fill your abdomen with gas in order to be able to see the stomach properly and make the cuts. And then they take out as much gas as they can, but you're left with quite a bit of gas in your system. And so, in order to relieve the pressure of that gas, you have to walk. So you just had surgery and now you're walking. And so it's a painful process, and it's something that you have to push yourself through for sure. And then on top of that, I wasn't even at home when I went home. I was in a hotel room in Montreal.
that's crazy. I don't even know how you did that. Like I'm just looking at you and I'm like, wow. But this is what I see in it. Okay. That takes time and effort to actually look into it. You
Yeah.
got it. You checked it out. You
Mhm.
actually did it. That,
Mhm.
and then you went to Montreal to go get it checked out. And then no matter what the situation was, you did it. This was truly something you really looked into and made a big decision on it. This is why I have you here, because this is something a lot of women want to know, right?
Mhm.
One of my mentors said to me, when you look into your heart and if it gives you the joy and you know this will change you, you go for it. And that is incredible. That's just incredible. Okay. I know you were scared. I know you were scared. But did you have any kind of, were you afraid of what others would think or say?
At first I was. And I think that's probably one of the things that held me back from the surgery for so long
Mhm.
is, what are people going to say? What are people going to think? It's not like I hadn't considered surgery before losing my mom. My mom and I had talked about it at length, and she always told me, if that's what you feel like you need to do, then let's do it. But I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And even when I made the decision that I was going to have the surgery, I told my sister, Zakia and Imran, I said, okay, I'm going to do the surgery, but like, how do we do it so that no one knows?
Yeah.
And they sat me down and they said, if you don't want anyone to know, are you really ready to do this surgery?
Yeah.
And that kind of was one of those aha moments for me. And it's like, am I ready? And, but then also, why do I feel I need to hide this? It's not something to be ashamed about. Obesity is a disease, and so many people in this day and age, they struggle with it.
Yeah.
And so why are we putting so much shame around having these conversations, or being able to say, I can't lose this weight by myself?
Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Like, it got to the point where I was, let's put some numbers to this. Okay. My before surgery, I weighed 360 pounds.
Mhm.
That's not healthy for anyone.
No.
And to be able to lose the amount of weight I needed to lose in order to become healthy, I couldn't do that on a diet or on an exercise plan
No,
in a way that was going to actually last. You don't want to yo-yo doing fad
no.
diets and stuff like that, right? That's not good for you.
Yeah. But can you not gain weight with
With the
that?
surgery,
Yeah.
yeah, you can. So, I mean, it's all about how you decide to take care of yourself. But
Absolutely. Mhm.
the thing, the thing when you're dealing with weight loss and when you've been overweight for such a long time, is that there's like a mental aspect to this. So you get to this point where you think to yourself, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Mm.
And so you need help in order to get over those plateaus, let's call them.
Yeah.
You need that help. And so it's not that I'm saying that I'm not going to eat healthy, I'm not going to exercise, I'm not going to do all those things, because in order to remain, you know, healthy, I have to do those things. there is definitely a chance that you can have the sleeve and then stretch your stomach out, because your stomach does stretch.
Yeah.
So you could stretch it right back out if you're not careful. But I needed the help to get to a certain point in my weight loss journey that I couldn't do with a diet.
Hmm.
I needed that help. So that was, it was interesting. I was on a liquid diet for 3 weeks before the surgery. And then I saw you before the surgery too. And I think you and I were like, you were like, how are you just drinking liquids? And everyone around us was eating. So it was, I mean, it was fine. It was mind over matter for me. And I made that commitment. And the thing is, when I decide I'm going to do something, I can do it. Like, I am very mentally strong. So I knew that if I couldn't lose that weight just with my mental ability, that I needed that extra help. So, it was 3 weeks before I couldn't eat. And then afterwards, it's like you reintroduce food into your system very slowly. So you're on liquids, then soups, then you go to like, mashed potatoes and stuff like that. And there's still things that I can't eat to this day. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to eat them.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question, but I'm impressed that you even brought that up because honestly speaking, like anyone on a liquid diet, like that's a lot because your tummy is still recovering, right? So you're
Yeah.
going through that and that is the hardest. But let's say you were on a liquid diet, but you
Mhm.
really wanted to eat and you did eat. What would happen?
Um, I mean, I don't think anything would have happened. I think that they know that you're human, and I'm sure a lot of people make that mistake. But the point is that they want you to lose your like water weight and stuff like that before the surgery so that it doesn't have any complications. Yeah. So I mean, afterwards, was there a point where I just wanted to eat something? Yes. I don't even think I can remember what I wanted to eat. I wanted to eat the weirdest things. Like I wanted to eat an apple, and I couldn't,
But,
because an apple has so much fiber and your stomach is what they call a baby stomach. So it can't handle that much fiber. I juiced, like I had a green juice. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so healthy. I can have a green juice. So I did kale, apple, pineapple, and coconut water. And I blended that and I drank it as my morning smoothie. And I was in agony. And I'm talking to the nurse and I'm like, why? I don't understand. And she's like, well, that's way too much fiber for your baby stomach to handle. So it was a journey of learning the things I could and couldn't eat. And as time goes on, your tastes change. And it's interesting because you actually don't feel hungry for the first 8 months after the surgery. Well, for me, it was like 8 months. You never feel hungry, but you have to get certain amounts of protein into your system. So you're eating because you have to. And then there comes a point where you're like, oh, I must be hungry. But you're actually not. That's just your brain telling you, like, oh, you should eat something now because you haven't in a while.
that's amazing. The fact that you went through that, knowing how difficult it is to get there, and you still did it. That's amazing. Like that's the
I
thing
feel like I didn't know enough though. I feel like I didn't actually like know what it was going to be like to have that gas pain after the surgery. I didn't know what it was going to be like to reintroduce the food. I thought, okay, you're going to be done the surgery, you can eat again. That's like a 6 to 8 week process, and it is not fun.
no.
I
I
don't think I don't think for the first 6 weeks that anything that I ate, I don't think I enjoyed it.
but see, this is why when I'm talking to you, I when I'm basically what I'm hearing here is how beautiful of a support system you had. You had your
Yeah,
sister, you had your dad, you had Imran.
yeah.
Doing anything like this, you need to address how important it is to have that support system in your life. And
I
that's
actually was really, really sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
yeah,
off.
yeah, go for it.
But I was actually my brother-in-law had the surgery at the same time I did.
Mhm.
So it was like we had each other to get through it.
See,
And
yeah,
so we would like call each other and like compare stuff, but he healed way faster than I did, and he can still eat way more things than I can. I can't even eat rice. Like it hurts my stomach so bad to eat rice. And I don't know why, but it does.
It could be any kind of trigger, right? Your body could have been not liking it from before. And then because you've eliminated it for so long, your body is just like, I don't want it anymore. Don't bring it back to me. Just
Even
talking
like
about the holistic
even
side.
sugar. Yeah, even sugar. Like sugar is really, really bad. Like you'll have a stomach ache the next
Oh,
morning if you eat sugar.
I don't even want to know. I love my sugar. But this is something,
Definitely hard.
this is a weight loss journey. And I think, especially with something this big, like gastric sleeve, anyone you're talking to, anybody with that weight loss journey, they need to sit down and talk to you about this, because I think that support system is really important. Like you said, you didn't even know going into all of this what you're going to expect. This is something that you could be one of those coaches and say, okay, you're going into this. Let me tell you. Let me tell you these little things that you don't know from anyone else, right? Or write this big blog or something to tell,
You
hey,
know, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like on the one hand, I feel like I wish I'd known that stuff, but then I feel like, what if that stuff is what stops someone from doing it? So, in a way, it was like a bit of the blissful unknown. Like, it was kind of good. And, when we talked about, me sharing my journey, I decided I'm going to talk about this. So, I started chronicling it on Instagram when I started my liquid diet. I talked about how I was feeling throughout the process. Like the night before the surgery, I was on Instagram stories, and it's all saved. I don't know how much of it is still saved because I like the videos replace themselves, but it was an interesting journey because it was about so much more than weight loss. And it allowed me to connect with so many people and build this beautiful community on Instagram. And I was able to connect with people who had had the surgery that I didn't know had had the surgery. And, you know, it allowed me to just be able to talk to those people and know that what I was going through was absolutely normal, which is so important. And so
yeah.
if I can do that for even just one person, I will feel like it's worthwhile for sure.
You remind me of when I talk about my soul journey or talking about anything, it's like when you preserve something around or you want to feel something around, the universe just brings you the right people towards you.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? How you met people doing the same surgery or have done it already. And it's like
Yeah.
they're pinpointing you saying, hey, this is you're connected to these people. Go and find out all the information you can find out. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. Um,
I mean, like to date, I'm not done in my weight loss journey. I've lost 130 pounds and I still have more to go. But what I have learned is to love myself where I'm at.
Thank you for saying that.
And that is so important. And I don't know that I ever would have come to that if I hadn't gone on this journey. And it's not because I've lost the weight, it's because I accepted myself. I saw myself through other people's eyes and I was able to accept myself and understand that I have to give myself grace along this journey because it's not easy. It's a struggle every day. It's I've had a stomach ache all day today. I've been complaining to Imran about how my stomach hurts all day today.
Yeah.
But it's part of the journey, and that's what you have to be comfortable with, is that all of these things are what are helping to transform you into the person you're meant to be.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not meant to be skinny mini, but maybe I'm meant to be here to be able to talk to other people about my struggles and how it went. And I don't want to be a size 2. I just want to be healthy and
Yeah.
comfortable in my skin. Well, I've gotten to comfortable in my skin. Let's keep working on the healthy
I this is why I brought you in. Do you see it? I'm all about being who you are and loving yourself for
now.
who you are. And you just said it. Watching you on Instagram, your blogs, reading your stories, and just watching you grow fills my heart. I saw you, I've known you for how many years, and I see you
Mhm.
now, and I'm just like, wow. That's the first thing. I'm just like, I need her to be here because she inspires me so much. You're
Oh,
the kind of
thank
woman
you.
who I'd love to see flourish, because this is the kind of story we all need to hear. Because though you got this surgery, there is so much more to your story and your journey, and not just this surgery. You became aware of your health
Hmm.
after your mom passed away. You
Hmm.
decided to change your life and you knew exactly what you wanted to do. And that itself is a soul connection, a true soul connection.
Hmm.
Now you're starting this journey with everyone and letting them know that it's okay to be the way you are and to feel the way you feel, because ultimately you get to be yourself.
Exactly. And that is what is the healthiest for you, is getting in tune with who you truly are and being able to sit with that and be that person and unapologetically be that person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize for having been overweight since I was, whatever years old. And I'm not going to apologize for having to have the surgery in order to get to this part in my journey, because that's what I needed to do. That was my journey.
That's right.
So, if that can help others in their weight loss journey or just in self acceptance, I'm happy to be that person.
You're gonna make me
That's
cry.
what
I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay,
we haven't cried yet. Okay. Like, let's not.
you found the amazing way to accept yourself and to love you for you and to accept you the way you are. And today, this is why you're here. I bring in those women that say, I love me for me. And how hard is that for people to say? Because we go through all these
So
journeys in
hard.
our
Yeah.
life.
You're conditioned all your life that you're not good enough, or you don't look like what you see out there in, mainstream media or on social media.
Ah, okay.
That's what you're conditioned to see. And it's just,
Are.
it's not right.
I
It's,
think we've both
everyone is
gone through
different.
that. We've both gone through it at all. And
Yeah.
I was that too. I was there too, especially with my postpartum depression.
Yeah.
And I see it not just with that, with journeys that everyone is going through. It's a little thing that we have that we're not happy with ourselves, but we need to find the solution of
Yeah.
why. You found that solution. I was able to find that solution, and we're here helping others to find that solution, that hey, we should be happy for who we are. And no matter what surgery you go through or whatever you go through in your life,
Hmm.
find that I am happy with me. I am happy with who I am today. Because if you're never happy, you're never going to be happy from within. That's the best
And
thing.
I mean, there's always that want to better yourself and to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to do that or you shouldn't want to constantly evolve, because that's so important for everyone.
Yeah.
But
Please.
you need to love yourself through that journey too. You need to just accept yourself, give yourself grace, and love yourself through that.
Oh, thank you. Would
You're
you
welcome.
recommend it? Oh, Shaz, I've not seen you in so long, and I'm so excited to see you at some point. Like, I just want to give you this big hug and tell
I
you
know. I haven't seen you
you're
in so long.
you're absolutely my most biggest inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I do want you to tell me though, would you recommend this to anyone out there looking for something like this?
Um, I don't know if I'm qualified to recommend it to anyone.
Mhm.
I think that you should do what your doctor says that you should do and what you feel is right. Um, the one thing I know about weight loss is you can't do it on anyone's schedule but your own.
Mhm.
And until you're ready to do it. Because if you do it for anyone other than yourself, it's not going to work.
It's true. Everyone has to figure it out themselves,
Yeah.
definitely. But having this information here from you can really trigger something for someone that might
Yeah,
want
I mean,
to.
I'm happy to talk to people. I'm happy to answer their questions. I've had a couple of people reach out to me on my Instagram and ask me some questions, and I'm always happy to do that. Um, but I mean, would I change it? No, because it's part of my journey and it's how I got to where I am today. Would I recommend it? If that's the help you need, yes, definitely. If this is something you're struggling with and if you have a story that's similar, then yeah, I would recommend it for sure.
So you wouldn't do anything differently or the same. You would go for it. You would do this.
I would maybe talk to a health professional a little bit more about uh, the mental health aspects around it, because
Mhm.
it's not easy. Your body changes very fast. Your hair falls out. My hair used to be, so thick. It's like so thin now. And that's all, it's very vain things. And like, you get a little bit uncomfortable in your own skin. And you struggle a lot mentally with the things that you used to do. So the mentalities that you used to have. And for a lot of people that are overweight or have an obesity issue, they have a very unhealthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
And so it's learning to recognize those triggers and um, making, trying not to make those bad decisions when it comes to food that you need help with, that you can't just deal with on your own. And some people have a harder time. I think, my journey was probably easier than some people's. Some people have a lot of health complications following the surgery or prior to the surgery. I was very lucky that I didn't. But I think it's very important. It should be mandatory that you have to speak to a mental health professional during the course of this journey, probably before and after the surgery. I would say it's not. So that's probably the only thing I would change.
Okay, one last question though. I just thought I'd let the listeners know you decided to go to Montreal for the surgery. Can the surgery be done here in BC as well if they wanted it?
Yep. Yeah, it can be. I don't know. I know that if you were to have the surgery covered, you can get it done here. There is a wait list that is a couple of years long, though.
Okay.
And again, anyone with, if you don't have big health issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, all of those things, people with those issues will always get pushed above you on the wait list.
Mhm.
But there are places here in, I think it's Richmond, that do the surgery that you can get it done privately. I just chose to go to the best surgeon that I found through my research.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to say thank you to you for being
Okay.
here. Thank you so much, Shazia, for allowing this story to
Thank
be
you
my
for
podcast.
having me.
Oh my God, you're so welcome. You're part of this journey. I'm so excited to have you here. You have no idea. Um, First of all, of course, allowing the story to be on my podcast and to be fully be available to talk about it. This about this unique story that you have, or whatever journey you've gone through. So I'm really, really, really happy you decided to come here, because honestly, your journey will help a lot of people. And of course, I was going to ask you one last question. Now, there's going to be a lot of people saying, "Hey, I want to have more questions." Can you tell
Yeah,
our listeners if they had any more questions, how they could get a hold of you?
sure. You can reach me on Instagram at the Life of a Planner. Or if you prefer email, you can email me at thelifeofaplanner@gmail.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Feel free to reach out to me. Um, and you can also check out my highlights for the journey through the surgery as well
Is that on Instagram?
on my Instagram highlights. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I will add Shazzia's information on my podcast under my description for all of you to see if you need. And lastly, having Shazia here today was truly a unique experience. I could not
Thank
be more
you.
happier.
Thank you so much.
uh, you're telling me, I'm trying to say something, and you're like totally, you're making me forget. So
Sorry.
thank you so much for being here and able to share your beautiful story with all of us. You're so cute. I love you. Um, Please, if you are listening in, please subscribe to my podcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. This is going to be amazing. And write a short review and let us know what you think. This will allow me to do what I love to do. So, Shaz, thank you. Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye.